Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Today we begin the book of Judges, and conveniently the book of Psalms in Psalm 106 gives us really a summation of the book of Judges and brings out something that perhaps we might miss just reading through the book of Judges. As we read through the book of Judges, what do we find? We find the people rebelling against God, being influenced by the people that are around them, sacrificing to other gods, just really provoking the Lord to wrath. And we see time and time again them being overtaken by their enemies, being disciplined by the Lord. And one of the key phrases found in Judges is that there was no king and everyone did what was right in his own eyes. As we read the book of Judges, we might begin to think, well, it's all doom and gloom, it's all bad news, and there's nothing really good to come out of the book of Judges. However, when we go to Psalm 106, we find something that's really precious about the Lord in connection to what was going on in the book of Judges. And it begins to talk about what happened during the time frame of the book of Judges in verse 34 of Psalm 106. And he goes in and he talks about the fact that they didn't destroy the people. They mingled in with the nations. They learned their practices. They served their idols, which became a snare to them. And it talks about how they kind of went through this moral deprivation as time went on. And it even talks about the anger of the Lord. Verse 40 was kindled against his people, and he abhorred his inheritance. And he gave them over to the hand of the nations, and those who hated them ruled over them. So very similar to what you find in the book of Judges. Now, the part that I want to bring out for our devotion today is found in verse 44. And there's a nevertheless found there, and it's a big nevertheless, and it's a beautiful nevertheless. It says, nevertheless, he looked upon their distress when he heard their cry, and he remembered his covenant for their sake, and relented according to the greatness of his loving kindness. He also made them objects of compassion in the presence of all their captors. Just beautiful language about the Lord and how he viewed his people during this time when they were just going through this moral roller coaster and were rebelling against him and then just using him to get out of the hole. And then as soon as that judge would die, they go right back to what they were doing. But still, he was determined to keep his covenant, and he was determined to make them the objects of his compassion. And that is very comforting to us as we read it, because when we look on our lives, aren't we just like the book of Judges, wrapped up in one human being? We look back on our lives and we do the same thing as they do. We do well for a while, we follow the Lord, but oftentimes we are influenced by the world. We begin to get a worldly mindset. We begin to maybe even drift into sin, or just having the wrong thoughts, the wrong motives, being motivated by the wrong things. And before we know it, we're off track. But the Lord in his compassion and his mercy looks on us and remembers his covenant, and he brings us back again. And we basically experience exactly what happens here. We get ourselves in a bind, usually because of our bad decisions. Going back to talking about the devotion yesterday, where we talked about everything kind of boils down to choices, and oftentimes we make the wrong choices. When we get ourselves in a fix and in a bind because we've been walking according to our own ways, that the Lord still is compassionate. When we come to him in prayer, he looks on us with mercy and with love. He remembers his covenant, and he comes to us and helps us in various ways. But this should give us great comfort to know that, yeah, we mess up. Yes, we stumble. Yes, we do the wrong things, say the wrong things, make the wrong choices sometimes. But the Lord still has our back, and he still loves us very much. And he's still going to be true to his covenant. He's still going to remain faithful to us as we return to him and basically commit our lives to him time and time again. So if you've messed up a lot, as we all have, don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Trust in the compassion of the Lord, the mercy of the Lord, and he'll see you through. So with that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.